Live on Facebook and Global Radio 99.5FM.com. Express yourself live on Global Radio 99.5 FM.
Good afternoon, Bahamas. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. Today is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of Bahamas. This is the 8th of August, and I want to thank that caller for correcting me yesterday. This is month number 2 now. Since I first gave that announcement July the 8th. My email is sydneymthompson@hotmail.com. I want all those people on Facebook to send me their names and their addresses, because I'm going to need their support for the radio show and for some things that I'm going to be calling on them to do. Because, you know, I asked you, as in fact people asked me, Professor, what is it that we can do? And I gave you the answer on July the 8th. And I'm going to repeat that today, 1 month later, because I haven't heard directly from any particular constituency what major constituency problem they're interested in dealing with over the next 18 months. Now, Bahamians, we got to get serious about this 18-month period. I don't want to lose any time. I am here to work and work hard on behalf of the Bahamian people. See, this is a test run, you know, to test your character, to see how committed you are to constituency affairs and also national affairs. There's just one major national problem that we're going to be working on for the next 18 months, and we're going to get that one solved. We cannot afford to lose out, because our country is in a lot of trouble today. Plenty trouble. And you and I have to work together to make sure that the country is saved. Your Constitution is your salvation document. I want you to always remember that. I was listening to another radio station today, and the host of that show, I called into that show. I don't know if the host liked what I said, but I'm going to call him and talk to him. The thing is, he was talking about the media not asking the right questions. I say, you're correct on that. There are things that the government of the Bahamas is doing, and the media has not called them out yet. And his media hasn't called them out either. So he's guilty just like the others. They keep their mouths shut when people are expecting the media to assist them and help them. Those who have the microphones have an opportunity to help build the nation, the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. But you have to give them accurate and precise information, and the media is not doing that. They like talk people business. They talk about little pity-patty issues. Come on, Bahamians. We have some big, major constituency problems. Number 2, we have some big, major national problems. We're only going to handle one of them over the next 18 months because they are very big issues. And I'm going to be calling on your support, your financial support, your prayers, your backing, your cooperation in these various constituencies, because it takes the national will of the Bahamian people to do it. And Professor is not going to be an activist. I want to make sure of that. I know there have been activists in the past, and, you know, that's fine. They can do that. But they just didn't know better. Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson knows better than most of them. So I am here well prepared. And when I say something publicly, unless it is contrary to the Constitution, contrary to biblical understanding, contrary to the law, or if the source is incorrect, well, then you could correct me on that. Like the person yesterday said, it was not the 8th or the 7th, and that's fine. I don't have no problem with that. Anything that I say that you believe is contrary to the Constitution, you could challenge me on it. But you know something? No one has yet challenged me on the Constitution. Isn't that interesting? All this time, I've been putting out information after information after information. See, go and check Global Radio 99.5 FM, their Facebook page and their YouTube page. You see all those shows on there. talking about the Constitution, of course, some other things as well. Because we have to deal with these statute laws, like this law about the Electricity Act 2024. I have to delve in depth into that. Because the Grand Bahama Power Company is being accused of violating the Bahamas, that new Electricity Act. And guess what? The government itself is violating it. But I hear them talk about that. The woman down in Grand Bahama, she ain't saying nothing about that. And they're saying that the ERCA has the authority to regulate electricity all over the country. Fine, I got no problem with that. But ERCA hasn't said a thing about what is happening to BPL by the government. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And this kind of twisted reporting is not good for the nation. It confuses people. Let's deal with the facts. And when I have the law, whether it's statute law or constitutional law, I'm going to use it to the hilt. Oh, I ain't say nothing yet. Just stick around a little bit longer. Because if the government is violating the law, they must be called out. If the Grand Bahama Power Company is violating the law, they must be called out. If the Grand Bahama Port Authority is violating the law, they must be called out. But you can't just go down on this company. And I'm not saying they're wrong for saying what they did. Because I listened to them well yesterday, and I was infuriated. And ERCA said, well, it's reported that ERCA said, because I hear nothing specifically from ERCA, but the news report was ERCA said they're going to get on it right away. Tell ERCA get on the government with BPL. Because the specific things mentioned in that act, the government of the Bahamas has not yet followed it, but they got arrangement with Pike. And some other companies they have set up. And there are some things that are supposed to happen before anything is finalized, and ERCA has done nothing about it. So tell ERCA get their act together. It is not fair for them to come down on the Grand Bahama Company, the light company down there, and then they let the government here get away with the crap they're doing with BPL. That's foolishness. That's what the media needs to deal with. And the man on the other show, that was Wendell Jones' show, Love 97. I'm going to call them out too. Because they themselves have not gotten on the government of the Bahamas for violating this new Electricity Act, 2024. So you got to clean up your own door, Bahamians, before you start pointing your finger at them other people. The media needs to learn to ask the right questions. They have not been doing that. The media does not challenge the government of the Bahamas. You know, Professor Thompson will do it. And you heard the disclaimer on the radio station. Say they are not the views of Global Radio 99.5. The owners and the management of this station. I don't blame them. Because you see, I know how to be responsible in my comments. And once I am on the Constitution, once I am on the law, I ain't backing down for nobody. I don't care what they say, what they think, or what they do. I go by the law. The law has to apply to the government of the Bahamas as well as apply to Grand Bahama Power Company. But all that noise they made took up all that news time yesterday, talking about the Grand Bahama Power Company. But they ain't saying nothing about BPL and what the government of the Bahamas is doing here on the island in the Providence. Some decisions have been made, and there has been no kind of discussion with the people of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, none whatsoever, before any decision was made. That's an act. That's why we need to read and understand these things. I get very infuriated, when people talk in foolishness and nonsense. I believe we have a call on the line. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please. Caller? Mr. Producer, I'm not hearing anything. Caller, you're on the air. Would you go ahead, please? Mr. Caller, Mr. Bruce, we have to move on because the call is taking too long. I guess the caller can call back. Now I got to be careful now because I don't want to say that maybe he didn't hear me or she didn't hear me. So I got to be careful with that. But the line was open and the person can call back. Please call back if you want to make a comment. The lines are open 326-0271, 326-0272, 813-0271. I remember that one now. That's the WhatsApp line. And also you can call on that line as well. Bahamians, you have to look at it objectively. And I said on that show, I believe that it cut me, before I was even finished. Because when I picked up the phone, because you got to turn your phone down, and so you could hear through the phone. I heard some commercials on. But this is how these wicked people behave. There was another caller before me that made some comments, and that particular personality made some comments, and that's fine. People have a right to express their views. I am not going against that because that's constitutional. But I know one thing. There's some things that need to be said and dealt with in this country which is not being dealt with at all. Major national problems and major constituency problems. Just give me my 18 months. Because I am ready to work, Bahamians. It done caused me to lose a whole month. That's how we lost 51 years. By sitting on our backside doing nothing. That crap has to stop. Caller, you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Brother Sid.
Hey, what you say?
Brother Sid.
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. I'm listening.
Want to go on. I go in with Oika. Who is the boss?
Listen, stop right there. Stop right there, caller. Just let me make this point. You saying Urke is the boss. Urke is an irresponsible entity in this country. You know why? They have not done anything about BPL, and the government of Bahamas is making all kinds of decisions without consultation with the Bahamian people, according to the new Electricity Act of 2024. Tell them, straighten that out. But they are on the Grand Bahama Power Company down in Grand Bahama saying they can't do this and they can't do that. Fine, I don't have a problem with that. But clean up what is happening right under your nose. But they're not doing that. Now you say there's the boss. Well, that's your view. I ain't gonna knock you for that. Go ahead, caller.
Well, it is true. Where's the outcry of the Bahamian people?
I'm glad you asked that. I can comment on that.
It is true.
Later.
Where's the outcry? So if Urkel is not is lopsided, then investigation or people have to be moved, or if it don't carry out his power, then you might as well shut Urkel down.
The law is very specific and very clear. See, I gonna have to hit them hard with that.
But hey,
hold on, caller. I can hit them very hard with that. You know why? Because this is intentionally violating the statute law. But you get down on those people in Grand Bahama Port, the light company down there, and I'm not too familiar with all the particulars down in Grand Bahama. I have to learn about those things. But I'm saying to you, Urke is sitting back and has not said one single thing about consultation and people who have certain things they would like to say. That has not happened yet. But yet the government of Bahamas has made all these funny agreements with these different entities without any kind of consultation with the Bahamian people. And Urke is sitting on its backside and has done nothing about it. Now they're going to say, it is reported in the news that they're going to act to deal with them fellas down in Grand Bahama. Deal with these fellas right here in New Providence. They haven't done that. And that infuriated me. And I'm not saying if the Grand Bahama Power Company is violating the law, they shouldn't be challenged. I'm not knocking that. But there are some funny things going on in this place where Urke has been silent, completely silent, like they don't exist. And they're not doing a responsible job. They're doing a lousy job when it comes to enforcing what they ought to be enforcing and having that communication links with the Bahamian people. I can talk about the people later. Go ahead, caller.
Okay, point taken. But I am still waiting for the outcry of Mr. Pentad and Dwayne Sands.
Don't wait on them.
Because they are the ones supposed to be when the Grand Bahama Light people come out with this fee.
Yeah, this fee, yes.
They supposed to be the one to
6.3.
cry out.
Yeah, okay, all right.
But I smell a rat someplace.
Okay.
They ain't saying nothing. Something is wrong with that picture.
What about the people of Grand Bahama? You hear them say anything?
The people of Grand Bahama maybe was upset. And
no, they got to be more than upset. They got to take
Yes.
some active steps, man.
Yes.
Being upset is not good enough.
Well, it take those MPs over there to rally up, but because something is not right,
Yes.
they ain't saying nothing.
Okay.
It seemed like they must be accept the plan, going along with what the light place say. I don't know what's the reason why.
Well,
Because most likely, every time when something is not in favor, Mr. Penta and Dwayne Sands always jump on things
it. Okay.
right away.
You know
Why
their
they
record.
don't jump on that
You
and
know
make
that-
noise about Grand Bahama Light?
Yeah, okay.
Make noise about that.
Yeah, okay. But you got
Am I-
20, but listen, caller, you got 25 MPs right on the island in Providence. And they opened them out yet. 25 of them right here. And not a living one of them has said anything about BPL and what the government of the Bahamas is doing. But that particular minister down in Grand Bahama was able to shoot her mouth off about the Grand Bahama Power Company. Huh? But not 25 MPs right here on the island in Providence. They ain't say nothing yet. The act says specifically what's supposed to be done. And the government of the Bahamas is not going according to the statute law, period. But I don't have a problem with them getting on the Grand Bahama Power Company if they're contrary to law. Fine. But there's some particulars about things down there that I don't fully understand. I got to get to know more about it and do some more research on it. But as far as this act is concerned, I know this much, that they are violating the act as it is now, 2024, June 1 it was, they passed it. They ain't going by it themselves. These MPs on New Providence, 25 of them need to talk about that. Not a living one of them has opened their mouth about it. You understand what I'm saying, caller?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
My last point is,
Yeah.
I hear you touch on some of the talk shows hosts
Oh, yes.
are fearful. And you know something? You see, when I come on this radio, I try to be more responsible and speak truth.
Okay.
Some of the talk show hosts were strong. But after a while, they get pulled in by the government. And bushcrack and man gone. Because if you want to be truthful, Brother Sid, you know you had your colleague who was working on the side of you. She are not there anymore. And how she used to carry on. But she is not there no more. I know where she is.
Yeah.
But then again, everything is silence. You see,
Okay.
you can't have your cake and your ice cream. If you're going to be strong on opposition and government and really look out for the Bahamian people, we can't wait until someone throws something, a big, fat, juicy bone to us, and we pick on that and bushcrack, and we go on,
Yes. Okay.
and that's it. And then everybody know what is what, but then again, everybody just playing fool.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to speak to that, yeah. Caller, thank you very much for your call. I believe we have another call on the line. Call you live on air. Go ahead, please.
Hey, good afternoon, Professor.
Hey, how you doing?
And good afternoon, Bahamas.
What's happening in Grand Bahama, man?
Oh, Professor, I the one radio. They sound like a fellow in Grand Bahama. But, Professor, listen. I'm going to put a cleaner voice. Esther chapter 8 and Constitution chapter 24.
Okay.
Listen here. Again with Attorney General. Attorney General say he going to redo this thing up. I remember.
Wait, hold on. Slow down. What did Attorney General do what? What did he say?
The case was going down. He say, what they say, going to review counsel or so in some place with that.
What case went down? Did he specifically say?
Okay, so someone sued them. Someone sued them.
He didn't say what it was, eh?
Yeah, he said what it was, but I don't want to spend all that on anything. Someone sued them. Someone sued them for something, okay? So he said,
okay, all right, okay.
In the newspaper.
Oh,
I bring it up. Huh?
It's in the newspaper.
Yeah, in Tribune, yeah. Yesterday.
Okay, yesterday. Okay, I'll have my people look at it for me.
Yeah, but I say that to say this. I had to bring up this man. This history now. Professor, this history. This man when we had the Attorney General up by the post office.
Yeah.
We had a man named there, Mr. Brennan. Mr. Professor, you couldn't win a government case like that. Man and my team, I was praying for someone to win a government case. You couldn't win none of them government case. This man was so turned. He's Mr. Brennan. Guess what they do to him? They grab him and take him, make him a judge. Okay, watch what he say. He's a judge now. But I grew up in them days. You could not win a case. You couldn't win a government case. Now every day someone get $1 billion. Someone another $1 billion. You know what I mean? Someone get a big sum. Someone get a big sum.
About. Yeah, okay. All right.
I mean, them days gone. They take that man and they move him and put him to make him a judge. And that's a good thing. But I want the National Intelligence Branch to find out who moved that man. And he ain't put no one qualified at his level. Y'all have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me just say this. I always say to the callers and the people out there, support the radio show. Support Professor Sidney McGarry, Walter Thompson. That's what is needed to get the job done. You don't let the man stay out there and hang out and dry. That doesn't make any sense. The point is, once you give me that support that I asked you for July Day, because I'm going to remind you about it today, I won't have to worry about anything after that. I can get the work done. I can organize the people and get it done. But you can't just sit on your backside and talk and do nothing. You've got to give financial support. You got to give moral support. You have to do some other things that are constitutionally sound, biblically sound, legally sound to make this thing work. And you have been sitting on your backsides for 51 years and you did nothing. Nothing. That's why we're in the predicament we're in today. Because you did nothing. So I threw the challenge out to you. 18 months. One major constituency problem that you choose to deal with. Now, the professor can't choose that for you. You have to choose that. And I was delighted when that caller called, and just 2 days or 3 days, no, 2 days before this is the 8th now. He called in on the 6th. And he gave 2 suggestions, but that came from an individual. He talked about the environment, and then he talked about the fact that many of these fathers are not in these homes, in these different constituencies. But a constituency has to choose one major constituency problem that they would agree on to work on and get it done in 18 months. That's doable, Bahamians, legally, constitutionally, and biblically. I don't check that all out. That's why I could tell you that live on radio. Because all you have been doing is complaining for the last 51 years when you did nothing. That's why we're in the mess we're in now. A whole month has passed. And I haven't yet gotten one particular constituency say, Professor, this is what we're looking at. Except that gentleman who called on the 6th. We got to do better than that, Bahamians. You see how time slips away when we do nothing? When we sit on our backsides and just let time flitter away? We make no progress, Bahamians. The problems in this country are monumental. at the constituency level and at the national level. And people are getting in all one another's way, doing foolishness and nonsense. So let me give it to you clear as I possibly can be. Number one, the constituents in a given constituency choosing one that affects all of them, that they would agree to say, yes, Professor, we can work with this one. Anyone that you want to pick in your particular constituency, I'm prepared to work with you. And if you're not sure, see, I didn't tell you this on July 8th, so you ain't got no excuse. If you do not know how to organize yourselves, Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson will come right in there and show you how to do it. Now, I need a team of righteous people now. You can't do it without righteous people. There are two sets of people, wicked people and righteous people. You need a team of righteous persons on the ground in your constituency to solve that one major constituency problem. And it will get done in 18 months. You also need, and I want to stress this because I want constituents to understand, 51% or more of you living in that constituency have to become righteous in your dealings one with another. That is a critical, valid point to solving a problem. That's why you see these constituencies in the way they are now, because we lack righteous people on the ground dealing with one another the right way. I'm talking about being religious now. I'm talking about doing what is right as opposed to what is wrong. So if you're doing the right thing, then you're going to cheat on your neighbor. You're not going to lie on your neighbor. You're not going to steal from your neighbor. You're not going to be involved in stolen property. Come on. These are simple, basic, fundamental things we just ignore. And talking about we are good citizens. Come on, let's get rid of this crap, man. We have to be honest and upfront with each other in order to get over that problem. And see, once it is solved, it's solved for good. That means you don't ever have that problem again. This ain't something where you just dip your hand in and then stop. No, 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 no. You have to have it so well organized that it never raises its ugly head again in that particular constituency. Because the constituents, Article 24.1, the collective will of the constituents coming together for the purpose of doing what? Protecting their interests. Do you have an interest to protect on the ground in your constituency? Yes, you do. The word interest is plural in Article 24.1. The very last phrase, organizing yourselves to do what? For the protection of your interests. That's the job of the constituents working with the team of righteous people with their support and their backing. Their financial support, their legal support, their loyal support. We need that, Bahamians. That's the way it has to be done, biblically, lawfully, and constitutionally. I checked this thing out thoroughly. So you ain't got no excuse. And you don't have to be waiting another month before you do anything. Let's start today. Today is August 8th. I got to make sure I get these dates right. I guess it's right. I could someone bring him in after the break. We must get on the ground now, Bahamians. I want to work, you know. You think I just come here to waste time? Just give me my 18 months, please. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network, 99.5 FM. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after this.
Join us in helping to support I'm pleased, I really dig your company.
It's your chance to join the discussion of today's issue. Yeah, let your voice be heard. Speak your mind and express yourself. Call in and participate at 326-0271 or 326-0272. WhatsApp us your concerns on 809-2310. Follow us live on Facebook and globalradio99.5fm.com. Express yourself.
This is Professor Sidney MacArthur Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network 99.5 FM. This is a great day to be in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Bahamians, we have a lot of work to do in our country today because some funny things are happening in this country. Let me just tell you right off the top. Anyone talking about naturalization ended July of 1974. The government of the Bahamas, nor the Immigration Department, nor the Immigration Administration, nor the cabinet can legally naturalize anybody because they ain't got no authority to do so. So let's get that straight. Number two, not everybody born in the Bahamas is a citizen of the Bahamas. The Constitution doesn't support that. And sometimes you have people making judgments which could very well be contrary to the Constitution of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. That's why everything has to be examined very carefully. Even personalities sitting on the bench can get their heads screwed in the wrong direction. They're mortal people just like you and me, you know. And they have temptations put before them, just like you and I have temptations. They got carnal mind just like you and me. The Bible talks about the carnal mind being enmity against God. They don't like to go straight, you know. When it comes to law, they like to fight against law and want to do things that are wrong. But the judiciary has a responsibility, the government has a responsibility, the parliament has a responsibility, the citizenry has a responsibility. So I got to speak to all of them, you know, because some of you all just forget. You get all mixed up. I have my special guest, Brother Cartwright. Brother Cartwright, welcome to Global Radio.
Good afternoon, Professor, producer, and Bahamas, all through the rest of the world who are listening in. Yes, Professor, this topic has become a big topic on social media.
Yes, sir.
Whereby that the court made decisions and some people made remarks about the court.
Okay.
And after reading the article, I will say this. The young lady who wrote the article on behalf of the Tribune, it's misleading because the article is saying 575,000 of wanted the Haitian woman denied citizenship.
Okay.
When you read the article, it states something different.
All right.
The article stated that this young lady at the age who's 29 now, had sued the Department of Immigration after the department took 6 years to grant her some form of status, which became Bahamian citizenship.
What she had applied for?
She had applied for Bahamian citizenship.
When was this person?
She basically met all the qualifications except one. And that qualification means that she had to renounce, according to Article 7, paragraph 2.
Did she announce?
Now, they never stated this.
Wait, let me get this straight now.
The article never stated that all they're saying is...
Okay, go ahead.
All they're saying in the article is that she applied, but before that, they had given her a certificate of identification in 2011.
Okay, when had she applied?
She applied in 2013.
2013.
Yes.
Now.
At the right age, between 18 going to 19.
Yeah, but applying doesn't make you necessarily a citizen.
No.
Now, now, do we know whether she renounced her citizenship of that particular country?
That is the problem because the Tribune writer writing this article and I'm reading it is as if she is being told by the lawyer of the individual.
Okay.
But the Tribune article never identified the lawyer.
Okay.
And so the Tribune is saying to us in this article,
Uh-huh.
according to Article 7. And so I was like, hold on.
Okay, let's go back to 7.
I said Article 7 has
I'll be very familiar with it.
two sections to it.
Yes, it does.
And it tells you, in the beginning, it said, any person born in the Bahamas who citizen shall be entitled. But they didn't tell you that you must. See, because even though you might have been born here and your parents are non-Bahamian,
Yes.
you still have to meet that requirement where you must renounce.
Yes.
And at the time in 2013, she would not have been able to renounce.
How old she would have been then?
She would have been 18.
Okay.
And the reason why she could not renounce because both of her parents, which was now known to be Haitian citizens.
Yes. Okay.
So the Haitian Constitution states as a fact, any child, either parent, and in this case, both parents
Yes.
are Haitian citizens.
Yes.
They didn't say residents, citizens.
Yes.
Any child born to Haitian citizens, that child upon birth is automatically recognized as a Haitian citizen.
Good. Now, go to Articles Section 2 and 7.
Now,
7.2
yeah.
in our Constitution.
Our Constitution said any application for registration under this article shall be subject to such exceptions or qualification as may be prescribed in the interest of national security or public policy.
Yes.
But in one paragraph 2
Yes.
says, provided that if he is a citizen of some country other than the Bahamas,
Right.
he shall not be entitled to be registered as a citizen of the Bahamas under this article.
Okay. Stop right there. Now, that is very clear.
Yes.
I don't care what no lawyer say.
Now, I would say this.
But let me make this point. See, the article is very clear. This particular person is a Haitian.
Yes.
As far as we know, that particular personality has not renounced that Haitian citizenship.
Correct.
The Constitution of the Colony Bahamas say you can't get nothing because you did not. You have to renounce first. That has not happened.
Also,
Go ahead, Brother Cartwright.
if you notice, the Haitian Constitution was amended in 2012.
Okay, 2012, yeah.
So she replied for citizenship of the Bahamas 1 year later. So if the Haitian Constitution has been amended to abrogate that article that denies Haitian citizens of having dual citizenship,
Yes.
and now that she has been abrogated, which means that she had to go back to Haiti to the Parliamentary Justice Department,
Yes.
get a certificate in English, get a certificate in Creole, stamped by them,
Yes.
stating that she had renounced and she was supposed to bring it back, carry it to the Immigration Department, forward it to the director, who then forwarded to the Immigration Board.
Yes.
So when you look at this article, and this is why I said that when I saw this here pertaining to Article 7, I was like, hold on, man.
Yeah.
This article is misleading.
Yes. Okay.
And so when I went to see how the judge made her decision with her being awarded, because she made some allegations against members of the Immigration Department,
Okay.
because she was put in the detention center, and her parents had to go and bring her identity certificate to prove that she was given status to be residing in here. But one of the things,
What kind of status was that they gave?
a certificate of identity. That is-
Identity? What do you mean?
means that if you're applying for some form of status, the government has to give you have to have some certificate stating why you're here, and then because that will now grant you rights to go and do your process, because you're not a Bahamian.
Okay.
Bahamians don't need a certificate of identity. Our certificate of identity is what we call the passport,
Okay.
because once you have a passport or if you're an eligible voter, that's your certificate of identity, because a voter's card is only given to citizens.
Hold on. Stop right there. It ought to be given to citizenship.
By the
Citizens.
by law and the Constitution,
Yeah. Okay.
only citizens can have that voter's card.
Okay, because some people have it and are not citizens.
Also, it's the passport, because people said, oh, I said, no, anyone, there's nothing stated, anybody can have a driver's license. Anyone can get an NIB card. That is why I've always championed the cause that we need to separate the card itself in the country for those who are non-Bahamians.
I agree with that.
So you won't have this bombardment
Yeah. Okay.
of NIB.
That's accepted.
And so as I read into it, she made some allegations, and then the officers at the immigration department or the detention center made allegation that she assaulted them, and apparently the judge didn't buy their summation.
Okay.
And then she went into, a lawyer went into whereby that she was traumatized, and so they presented it from 2016. They took a legal action.
Okay.
The governor of the Bahamas was changed in 2017.
Yes, that's correct.
Now, the government at the date in 2019, which is the last administration,
Yeah.
it goes back to what I call ministers being dumb.
Okay.
People say corrupt. I say no. See, corrupt means that the fella is a crook. When I say the man is dumb, means that he doesn't know. And when he doesn't know, he makes bad decisions.
Yes.
Because he is not intelligent enough to know that what he did is wrong. And so he just looks at what's been done before him,
Yes.
and he continue it going on and on.
Okay. That's fine. That is true. Yeah.
And
You're right.
in my summation, the government of the day at that time probably would told, listen, man, the best way we could get her to drop this lawsuit is give her citizenship.
Yeah, but citizenship. Well, that's a bad decision.
Which was a bad decision.
Very bad. Yeah.
Because I said to myself, if someone was going to grant you something in that capacity, I would have drawn up legal documents saying, listen, if you want this, because I don't have to give you this. See, we are straight as Bahamians. You applying to get this. And I could say you did not bring all of the documents that I require.
But from what I understand, if I'm thinking correctly, this particular person cannot qualify under no circumstances.
Now, the government of the day at that time, and like all governments, are using the Nationality Act to give citizenship. Because even when you look at Article 63, Article 63 breaks it down and tells you how. But then I said to them, if you look at Article 63(3),
Yes.
Article 63 says any bill to which Article 54, 2 or 3 of this Constitution applies. Article 54 covers Article 11, Article 12, 13, 14. All of those are citizenships.
Yes.
So Article 54 said before you could do anything given out, these articles in here, if they don't meet any one of these articles, you must change your article so that they can become citizens. And that has to become through the form of a referendum.
Yes.
So now, because Article 54 takes precedence, whatever they did, if it did not meet the criteria of Article 54, then whatever you did is invalid.
Yes.
So you're giving out a status to someone, even though you say in Article 7, but we're saying there has never been a referendum on any of these articles in citizenship.
None.
So how can you take an article and apply to give someone status if you have not made a referendum? So the only article I've been seeing they've been using to grant citizenship is the Nationality Act, which is also not
That's not law.
No law.
That's correct.
And so in all of this, she made her application. And I'm saying to myself, if I was the minister, I would say, okay, my dear, this is how you want to play it. If you wanted citizenship, I would need you now to sign a non-disclosure that your lawsuit will be withdrawn. And we will see how we can satisfy you with status. That is not breaking the law. That is not circumventing the law. Because one, I didn't violate none of the articles. So I can now put you in the status of permanent residence. without violating the Constitution, because you cannot become a citizen. And I think Chief Justice Winder was saying that that is something we need to look at.
Yes.
And so what the ruling by the judge was saying to her,
Which judge was this who made
this is Ruth Davelbo. And people said to me, accuse her of her political persuasion, but I tell people, listen, man, Ms. Bo Dowell has an impeccable record. She uses the Constitution. And if you listen to her ruling, she didn't say nothing on citizenship. She didn't mention no articles. She built the 2 articles she mentioned are right here. 17, which reads,
let's see what 17 says.
no person shall be subject to torture or to inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment.
Okay.
She was put inside the detention center.
Okay.
Now, you put her in the detention center, but you didn't charge her for any violation.
Okay.
So that's one the judge is looking at. Then the judge said 26.
Okay. Well, 26.
And she said 26(2), and it says, the subject to provisions of paragraph 6, 9, and 10 of this article, no person shall be treated in a discriminatory manner by any person acting by virtue or any written law or in the performance of the function of any public office or public authority. So she's saying to immigration, you are violating the Constitution of the Bahamas by your actions. You should not be doing this because you know better. And for years, we've been saying over the last 5 to 10 years, judges have been making this ruling against our administration and the Department of Immigration because they're continuously doing the same practice.
Okay.
We've had cases where we locked up persons, we deported persons without due process. Immigration cannot grab you and just deport you. You have to go to a trial. You have to be charged in a court of law. You don't go and grab the person and then you ship them out. That is not the law of the Bahamas.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that.
And so I was like, you still have not listened to the rulings previously. Mr. Smith won a case just like that where the gentleman was arrested and picked up by immigration and deported. And the magistrate asked him, what was the charge? Did he have due process? They said no. The magistrate had to they had to award the person, tell you can bring that, and awarded them money because you violated his rights. And I said, like, wow, we still do. And that's all these rulings were. Because here she said, for $125,000 for the constitutional breach of Article 17(1). You mean to tell me there's nobody in the Attorney General's office who could advise the immigration director? No, you cannot do that. This is a constitutional matter. Don't do that. Look for some other clause so that we don't be sued.
So what about the Attorney General himself? He's the chief legal advisor.
Means that he didn't know, and even the previous Attorney General in his capacity made a bad state judgment.
Yes, yes.
So you have two members of the highest order when it comes to law and understanding of the law in this country violating the law.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's
so you had the director of immigration violating the law, and she pointed out that basically the board, and we know who's the immigration board.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's the cabinet.
And the fella can stand up and say he did nothing wrong.
And now, and then this is why she said to them, 125 for the constitutional breach of Article 17(1). Okay. 125,000 for the breach of Article 26(2). And we just read that.
Yeah, you
and
did.
They're clear. You cannot violate these things and then say, telling the Bahamian, you looking out for them.
No, you can't look out for the Bahamians like
that.
Yeah,
that's wrong.
Yeah.
And then the judge said 150,000 for malfeasance. But that's a heavy statement for a judge to say about her government.
Malfeasance is what?
Bad practices which is not constitutional, not law.
Now, constitutional.
No. And so she
But the
said,
government is guilty of doing so many
Yes,
such
and so-
violations of constitutional law.
yes, and she said 100,000 for exemplary damages.
Exemplary damages, what does that mean?
Means that the young lady claimed that she was traumatized during that process.
Okay.
She couldn't get higher education because she had no documentation to allow her. She couldn't open a bank account because she all these things. So,
All right.
and so then the judge awarded her 75,000 and an aggravated damage. Means that aggravated means some form of assault because she
Okay.
was abused and put into the detention center. These are things that if they had followed the law,
Could have been avoided.
we would not have been able to give this young lady $1,
Okay.
1 penny. The gentleman who got the $2 million, who was locked up in prison, and then instead of they deported him once his time was up, and he was abused in prison, instead of they basically give him his ticket and deport him,
Yeah.
we have this habit of putting people back into detention center once they serve their time instead of sending them home.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
cannot hold people in the detention center once they've served their time. You deport them. We like to
Okay.
do this thing where we want to wait till we get about 100 people before we deport them.
No, you got to report them.
And the judge
According
said,
to law, yeah.
these people, you violating the law. You breaking the law. You the people supposed to uphold
Over
this
the law, yeah.
and you're breaking it. And she basically said to them, with this malfeasance, she said, if the law requires that she qualifies for citizenship, and it will take 6 years, and this is my biggest gripe at immigration.
Okay.
I don't think I don't know if there is a time limit when you file your application and when you get your certificate. So once you file, and I remember Mr. Ingram said that after 19, if you ain't filed between 18 and 19, you can't file after that.
That's
And
correct.
remember the case with the Jane Rooney Charles.
Yes.
And that's what happened. And so I said, okay, if the young lady was born here, okay, you entitled to apply. Now, you got to meet all, but she was saying that she provided the requested documents. Now, I would say to the immigration department, if she presented the requested documents, she could not gotten citizenship.
Yes.
And if they did their own homework, they would have realized that the country of Haiti had amended their constitution that denies citizens to renounce.
Yes, that's correct.
So if the citizenry can't renounce, we in the Bahamas don't believe in dual citizenship.
That's correct.
Haiti does believe in it now.
Yes.
So whose law are we should be following? The law of Haiti or the law of the Bahamas?
Good question.
And so when I heard the voice notes where people were attacking the judge character, and I was like, no, man, you all got to read. Sometimes don't get emotional about what you see in the paper. Read the articles. We've been going through this for years now. And you know, I always tell people, if you start to look back over the years, amount of money that we've been paying people
Plenty of money.
for violations, simple violations,
Simple violations, yeah.
could have been avoided.
That's right. How many millions of dollars we could have
We
saved?
could have basically used some of that money to pay down on our national debt.
You're quite right about that, yes. I agree.
We've had persons who were given money and we said that we doing it because of the security. We don't want no one. That ain't their money.
No, it's not their money.
Whatever contract you and them do personally, that's okay.
That's okay. But
when
not
it
the
co-
taxpayers'
When
money.
you take in money of the public place, brother, you got to report on how much of that money is you give them.
Right.
And I've seen personalities who met the requirements to be retired
Yes.
because we've seen where in our acts, they have in our acts governing the civil servants, you don't have to be 65 to retire.
Okay.
Once you put in 30 years, it accumulates to 65. You can
Okay.
walk away.
Okay.
And so if a government decides that, listen, you done had 30 plus years on the force, a lot of vacation money backing up. Instead of us having to pay you, wait till 65, then kill us off with all this big astronomical fee,
Yeah.
he can retire you.
Put them on
Now,
retirement.
You don't want to, you could say, I don't want to go on retirement. But that ain't up to you.
Yeah.
The act itself, what governs you all, said if you got 30 years in the service and you have not reached the retirement age,
Hey, you could still be retired.
you can still be retired.
Yes.
And one of the things that I looked at with the previous government, they started to do a lot of it. And people were crying and caring, oh, you're victimizing me politically. No,
Oh, okay.
you had the time that basically, so, and I try to tell a lot of people today, I bet one of my young cousins on my way, and she said, because I'm on pre-retirement. Come October, I'll be on full retirement. My cousin, even in 60, she got over 30 years in the corporation.
Okay, Brother Cartwright, we got to go to a break. I hear the music in the
Yes,
background.
I hear the jingle.
Yeah, okay. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson. We're going to open up the line, 326-0271, 326-0272. Well, the Cartwright has brought a very interesting topic. I am excited to hear about it. I have some comments of my own, too, which we will make. But the lines are open when we come back after the break. This is our break period right now. This is Professor Sidney MacArthur, Walter Thompson on the Global Radio Network. It's good to be on air today to talk about these things. We'll be back after the break.
Express Yourself Live will return right after.